The Pittsburgh Steelers have had three coaches since 1969: Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and the current coach, Mike Tomlin. So from 1969 to present, the Steelers have had only three coaches. There are some teams that have had 3 to 4 coaches in a year and a half time span, which is absolutely crazy to me. I'm not sure why people think that a coach can come in, wave a magic wand, fix their organization in 8 to 9 months, 10 months. And that's not going to happen. You have to let a coach get in there and really be able to start building his organization from the bottom floor up. You have to allow a coach to be able to be a coach, to be able to manage his players, to be able to say, this is it. This is how it is. We're going to be fair. We're going to talk. We're going to have great game plans, and we're going to be consistent. There's not going to be inconsistency. And I believe Chuck Noll started that off in a great way. He found great players, HBCU players. At the time, that was something that was, not really going on. And Chuck Noll, I believe, was a trendsetter with his intelligence. The man loved chess. The man loved playing instruments. The man loved to read. He was just a very intellectual guy. And that helped him, I believe, build that organization to where it gave him patience. It gave him the ability to be able to process everything in a concise, consistent manner to keep everybody together. All three of these coaches have one thing in common. They are stable, and their players typically like them. Now, Chuck Noll, I remember him and Terry Bradshaw had a riff. Maybe a couple other players, but 90% of the people you ever hear talk about Chuck Noll said how much they loved to play for Chuck, how much they loved Chuck as a person, how well they got along as a team, and the consistency they had and the stability they had with Chuck. And then you move on to Bill Cowher. Bill Cowher, the chin. I got a big chin too, guys. See? Yeah. But anyway, Bill Cowher came in and laid the law down. Bill was a player's coach also. Bill would tell you, hey, you're my guy. Like Jerome Bettis on the sideline, and it's a snowy day in Pittsburgh on a Sunday, 1 o'clock game start, and he has his arm around Jerome, and he was like, you're my bleeping guy, bro. Like, those moments are probably special. I don't know. I've never been on a sideline in the NFL. I don't know how these players nowadays take that. But I'm assuming for Jerome Bettis, a Hall of Famer, that meant something. Like, hey, I'm his guy. I know he's going to keep me around until he can't anymore. And I trust in his knowledge and his abilities to guide me and keep me on the right track. Now, Bill Cowher played in a Super Bowl versus Dallas, his first one, and then it took him a very long time to get back to Detroit to get the bus home. So that first game, that first Super Bowl Bill Cowher had, I just think that they went in there, Neil O'Donnell, big stage, just didn't have enough. I feel like that game had something, though, with Neil O'Donnell that I don't know to be true or not. But come on, some of them interceptions were the two that to what's his name from Dallas that were just blatant, ignorant. I wouldn't even have threw it there, and I can't even play quarterback. So, I mean, come on now. You got to have some sort of field vision there. So, I believe that cost them the game there. But let's move along. Let's get off that. That's not what this video is about. It's just about the coaches. So, we moved on, and Bill Cowher kept his winning ways up. He was able to draft well, able to keep his team consistent until they found that quarterback. When they drafted Ben Roethlisberger, that changed Bill Cowher's fortune. Because let's face it, you have to have a franchise quarterback. So one thing all three of these coaches have in common? A franchise guy at quarterback. Bill didn't have it his whole time. Mike Tomlin's had it his whole time. Except for maybe 1 or 2 years, injuries, things like that. And now this year, but boy, did he stumble onto Kenny Pickett. But anyway, Bill Cowher finally got his guy in Ben Roethlisberger. That first season he came in when Tommy Maddox got hurt in Baltimore, you saw what Ben could do for Bill Cowher. Ben was a scrambler, a gunslinger, an improv guy, somebody that could really, really just play from the hip and play with that feel that I always talk about on my videos, a feel for the athlete. And I'm sure a lot of athletes will tell you that. Like, yeah, the game plan's great, but hey, I got to have that feel. I got to be in the moment, you know? And Ben could scramble and move and create plays. And he played like Bill acted. Bill acts a tough, down-to-earth, hometown guy, hometown from Pittsburgh, Carrick, Pennsylvania. You know, a guy that is just going to really, I believe he's from Carrick. I'm not sure. I had to look that up. I can't remember. I know he's somewhere around there. But Bill was one of those blue-collar guys that put his lunchbox, went to the steel mill, got to work, and the players adored him. The fans adored him. They loved it when he was a winner because the Pittsburgh fans hate you when you're a loser. But anyway, Bill was one of those guys. So that was just another level of consistency. And once you have that back-to-back coach stability, loved by the players, that created a culture to where it's almost unbreakable now because the Pittsburgh Steelers organization is going to be patient. And look what they've done with Tomlin. Tomlin now, let's get on to him, has appeared in 2 Super Bowls, 1-1 in the Super Bowls. Mendenhall really screwed him out of the second Super Bowl because I believe he should have won that game if Mendenhall doesn't fumble. Mike in the playoffs, though, is 8-9 in the playoffs, which all-time playoff record. And how many seasons he's been there, many, is not a good statistic. His good statistic is 16 straight non-losing seasons, 258-1 and playing in meaningful games. So his teams are always playing for something no matter what, down to the wire, which is good for fans because we love that excitement every week and the anticipation building every week, you know, for those big moments. And us as Steeler fans have gotten that consistently all the time, and we're kind of spoiled with that. So now move on. We have Kenny Pickett at the helm for Mike Tomlin. This will be his second franchise quarterback that he has, because I believe Kenny will be a franchise guy. Kenny can guide Mike Tomlin and hopefully get him that next ring. Because I think Mike needs one more ring. I think he needs to win one without Big Ben. And when he does that, that cements Mike Tomlin's legacy. I feel that he is a great role model. I feel that young men, whether you're white, black, yellow, purple, whatever, because that doesn't matter. But if you're going to have a mentor, a hero, somebody to model yourself after, somebody that speaks in public as eloquent as Mike Tomlin, as sophisticated as Mike Tomlin, he is a beautiful role model for all kids, all adults, anybody aspiring to be anything. The work ethic of that man and the way he carries himself in public, and I'm sure with his players in private, that people should look up to that man and really model themselves after him. Because why? He's successful. He's beaten the odds. He was young when he became a head coach. He works hard. He doesn't panic. He keeps his eye on the prize and he pushes forward. And he never lets anything bring him down, no matter how bad, no matter how crazy the situation is. He always finds a way to make it through, to muddle through. Why? Because he's strong-minded, big-hearted, and that matters. And that reflects, I think, most of the time into his players, to where you see a Cam Hayward, a Cam Sutton, a Terrell Edmonds, Minka, players like that, TJ Watt, that carry themselves well and really model themselves after Mike T, as they call him. So let's just say this. The Rooneys, yes, they're part of the puzzle, man. Big part of the puzzle. From the chief down to the Rooneys we have now, the family we have now. They are part of that because why? They are patient. They are consistent. They don't panic. and they keep their eye on the prize, no matter how bad, how much of a struggle life is. They keep going, and they don't let the outside noise come in and affect them in any way. So the consistency starts with the Rooneys and keeps going down. But when you hit the jackpot with 3 wonderful men as head coaches, 3 wonderful guys, you have hit the NFL lottery, because many teams don't. But the Rooneys showing that patience and showing the trust that they have in their coach gives these coaches the ability to do things that most coaches can't in the NFL and other places. Because if you lose anywhere else, or you have a mistake, or you have a big dramatic event happen, that crushes a coach. And these owners, they are just looking at that dollar and thinking, how many people can we get in here? Because we got to win. If we win, that brings people. And if we don't get those wins, you're gone. You got this much time, boom. And they're like that with their players too. They're trading their players like they changed their underwear. Now, come on. That is not the key to winning at all. The key to winning is consistency and not to panic in the face of adversity. And if you can do that in any aspect of your life, in any way, shape, or form, if you put your nose to the grindstone and you work as hard as you can all the time, and block the outside noise, and who cares what anybody else says, you will be successful. And that's just how life goes, kids, boys and girls, men, women, whatever. That's the way life works. So everybody, let's take a lesson from these 3 Steeler coaches. Let's take a lesson and say, I don't care what anybody has to say. Outside drama doesn't matter. I'm going to do what makes me happy. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to stay away from people that are bad seeds. I'm going to just work hard and not let anything affect me. And that, my friends, is how you win at football and how you win at life. And I appreciate you guys watching. I know I rambled a little bit, but I'm really working hard on this content for you guys. I'm trying to get better every time I get on here. I want to be consistent for you guys and post every day. And hopefully we'll start having some different shows and different people and some interviews and be able to go live. But I need to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark, and I need to get to those 4,000 watch hours. So if you're watching this video, like, subscribe, come see me, come chat with me, put anything you want to talk about in the comments. I will read them eventually. I will get to you, and we'll make content on those matters that you want to talk about, because that's the type of channel that I'm trying to build. I'm not trying to give you information that I think you should have all the time. I want to talk about things that you, the fans, the viewers, the subscribers, what you want to talk about. Let me know what you want to talk about, and we will make the content that you deserve, that you want, and we're just going to really try to make this a monster community of level-headed, good people that believe in the good in the world, and really just do what you guys want and just hammer down and make as much content as possible and start having some fun and being able to joke with each other, being able to debate with each other. So like, subscribe, Jason Jacobs. My channel's new. I'm trying to come up. Let's go. And I'll talk to you guys on the next one.